everybody. I'm Steve Peterson.
And I'm Jack Hinkle.
Welcome back to Chops Podcast, where we talk about knowing your students, knowing your content, and knowing your teaching. And if you're feeling good, then try all three of those loving.
Nice.
Okay?
Nice.
If you're feeling confident, my friend. Jack, welcome back. It is now January 29th. I have no idea what day of the week it is. I just know it's January 29th.
This is the first full day of school we've had in 1 week.
Since
last. Wait, did we have a full day Thursday last week?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are at,
This is like Snowmageddon for like everybody in the state. Everyone has just been like
everybody
locked
in the
their
region.
homes. It felt like COVID for a second.
Yeah.
So you're like, don't go outside today. We'll talk again in a week. Like, what has happened? What is going on? Michael?
That's true, though. Friday was like a
E-learning day number 1.
E-learning day number 1. I don't know if it was cold or snow. There was something going on. And then Monday, it was very cold. Tuesday, we had a 2-hour delay. Wednesday, no school.
Monday was no school either, just to be clear.
Monday, no
And
school.
today
Tuesday,
is
And
Thursday.
then Wednesday, no school. Thursday, regular day of school.
First time in a week. Boy, could you tell that those kids' sleep schedules were just destroyed.
Could you tell that your sleep schedule was destroyed?
No, I'm okay.
You are?
I kept it. Did you?
I slept in.
Till 6:30. Yeah, we brought back the old question, bedtime check. You know, sometimes I'll do like raise your hand, keep it up if you did this time,
Okay.
this time. Today I just asked random kids. The general consensus was like 1 a.m.
Okay.
Which I don't think for a lot of those kids is that different than a normal school night.
No.
I did ask a kid a question. That question, she's like, "Yeah, I didn't go to bed."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that'll happen. You talk to your kids about that stuff?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
There are several that were like sleep deprived. Like they were just on games the whole time.
Fascinating.
And attendance was not stellar today.
Well, it was cold. You know those roads are bad.
Still, I've heard they're real slick these
Pretty
days.
slick these days on the roads.
So attendance was down. But also in the middle of that, we had a large group of students testing today.
Oh, yes.
So they came back to
Yes.
Inspire, and I was like, hey, good seeing you. In 30 minutes, you're going to go back to the high school. You're going to go walk across the planet Hoth, and you're going to go take another test. We'll see you in 2 days.
Like, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. I came into school today, and I had like 3 passes delivered to my first hour kids. I was like, oh, nice seeing you. Bye.
Bye.
Have fun out there. Some of my kids had that test, too. And I think they're also doing some like counselor meetings for like scheduling.
They are. I think the sophomores are in now.
Yeah.
Sophomores are up.
Yeah, the kids are coming out of the class like, see ya, just all the time. I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's got to get done though, so I understand.
Okay, so
But-
we're 3 days into our e-learning.
Wait, we got to back it up though and talk about Saturday, because that was supposed to be Purdue for all these jazz bands out there.
More like Purdue.
Don't.
Dang. Got him. So it was supposed to be Saturday, but they canceled it on Friday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Right?
on Friday. Yeah, Friday e-learning day, and Thursday was the last day we saw the kids. Okay, so imagine POV, you're a band director, jazz band director, and you're going into Purdue, and Thursday's coming. Friday's wind chill low was like -18. So I was like, I knew we're not coming to school, but I don't want to say that to the kids, right? Because I don't think that's a good vibe. But at the end of both jazz bands, it's like, guys, I want you to read my mind about what you think might happen tomorrow for school. Take your instruments home tonight, practice. And they're like, they were with me. And then Friday, halfway through the day, we get that email, urgent, please read, Purdue director of whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is not happening. So then it was just like a flurry of texts and emails I was trying to send out as fast as I could.
Get everybody
It's
taken
like
care
Parent
of.
Square email, like texting my boss. I'm texting my Eric, the other jazz band director here. I'm just like, what is going on? So the kids were quite disappointed, as they should be, but I I mean, ultimately, come on, the weather was just so bad, and driving 3 hours.
And it got worse the further south you went.
Right,
So.
and a lot of indie schools are going to that festival. So I'm sure it was necessary to do, but just one of those things on Saturdays. What do you do?
Okay. So what was your experience like today when you came back?
Dude, I was that teacher. I gave a test today in music theory.
You did?
Yep. I was like, it's fine. We got to go. I did talk to the kids on Tuesday, and I was like, just so you know, like, we'll probably do a test. And I'm not going to try and blow you up if we miss a ton of school, but we got to keep moving. So we started a test. So I was that teacher today. But I would say the vibe of the kids, it was like half like kind of happy to see each other. I think they're probably getting a little stir crazy, but also like, I don't want to be here today. I think that was the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You?
I got the same vibe. I think some students said that. I don't want to be here. And
you're like, you and me both, sister.
I was like, it's fine. It's fine, but you're here, so let's do something. It was a sleepy day. It was a, low energy day.
Yeah.
But like for myself, I sat down and I've been keeping track of some things on a spreadsheet, right?
Okay.
By the week.
Yeah.
And tracking certain skills and just communication. And that's something we do with the other teachers as well. But I came to this document, and it's one that I cut and paste for the next week and go on, and it was completely blank. I was like, and it was Thursday, and usually by Thursday it's populated. It looks like a rainbow explosion, like there's been some activity. But there was, like the morning kids I had not seen all week. So my interaction with the morning kids was 0, and the afternoon kids we had seen once. And so I was trying to figure out how do you get back on the horse, like invest more in this week before you even look ahead to next week. But like, don't write this week off.
Right.
Even though it's a 2.5 day week, but you just got to pick up and start where you were and try to make things happen and make sense and try to make those connections, even though you're doing your weekend update 3 days late, right?
A long weekend, baby. A long weekend.
So that kind of made me think about like believing in the system of record keeping and progress, and just like, okay, is it worth it to you to still track this even though we're down to this sample size this week?
No, that's real.
I think to, keep some movement going. So I kind of felt like forcing myself to do that.
Did you talk to the kids about that?
I did. I didn't do, today was more out with the kids rather than bringing them to my office. Okay. And my office is in the classroom. But so I did visit them. And of course, at this time, it's like unlocking a lot of quizzes and tests and getting them caught up on things. But catching up with their weekend, I was really pleased how many kids asked me today, I know we haven't been here for a while, but how was your weekend?
Great.
I was like, hey, that's awesome. I was like totally into that. And got some stuff going. I also had a student today, one thing that we've worked on, and that I don't know if we've talked about, but when a student comes up to your desk, or anybody comes up to your desk and you have your screen open, that's really not like an open, you shouldn't have just come up and look at somebody's screen.
Sure.
Like, if you're working on something, I would not come around and just like look at your screen without you saying, you want to look at this.
Right.
Right. And so I had a student today that said, he sat down in the chair next to me and leaned back in the chair and closed his eyes. He goes, I'm not looking at the screen. Tell me when it's okay.
That is so precious.
It's awesome.
That is awesome.
And then his eyes were closed, and so I held out my fist like for a fist bump, and I was looking at the screen and just gonna hold my fist out, and he didn't hit it because he had his eyes closed.
You didn't know his eyes were closed?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
So, but I was like, okay, I appreciate that. Like coming in.
Forward motion, baby.
Forward motion, little traction.
There you go. That's good.
I think I think these days, teachers out there, I think the days that we have that get canceled and are delayed, I think they really try us as teachers.
Ooh, ooh, I feel some hot takes coming on.
I feel
Let's go,
like-
Steve. Get in there.
Well,
Get in there.
I think they challenge us. And they challenge us on if we want to go all in or if we're just going to lay back and say, well, okay, you have a 2-hour shortened day. Are you going to go forward? Or are you going to use that as an excuse to kind of lay back?
Well, there's buses late, and kids are running late because they're oversleeping.
And there's
the
testing
lunch schedule's been-
and the kids, and I
They just
don't
wanna
want
go
to
to the bathroom
I
all
don't
the
want
time.
anybody to get left behind. And we're just going to regroup on Monday. Well, the problem is if you regroup on Monday, you just said goodbye to Thursday and Friday, and who's watching? Your students. So if it's okay to take Thursday and Friday off of a short week, like take it off like metaphorically or figuratively, like you're there, but you don't want to get anything done. You're setting the precedent for future days. It's a Monday. I don't feel like doing this today. Right? It's this mind game, but I think it is making sense of what are we doing here? What example are we setting for ourselves, like us as a teacher? And what example are we setting for the students? I just think there's so much merit to not even making a big announcement, but just kind of like through action, your day is approached in a similar way each day, right?
I would think so.
And you don't need to say, well, I know it's really hard. We're coming back from, I don't even think that's necessary. I mean, you can say it. It's fine. But what better example for the kids than just to like get back into it,
I agree.
right?
I'm usually like, well, I shouldn't say usually, but sometimes, oh no, I did today because after a long break, I like told some of my classes, I was like, just want to let you guys know, it's kind of getting stir crazy in the house,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to see all
Sure,
of you, and
sure.
it's fun to like talk to you and hear you play and like work again. Like, that's fun. So I say that one, because it's true. And two, I don't know, we've talked about this. Like, I don't know always how what I say hits or what I do, but you said something that stuck with me a few episodes
You
back.
look fat in your pants?
No, that was years and years ago back,
Okay.
and that's never left. I heard you say, like, the question I asked you was, what do you want your kids to think about you? And your answer was that he likes us. And that has, like, really stuck with me for many, many weeks. And I'm like, that's like such a good answer. And the more I think about it, it's like that should be the only answer that people give. Because it's like a selfish question, like, what do you want your kids to think about you? But it's spun selflessly as an answer that I want my kids to know that I like them. And I think that is such a good answer. And I wanted to like get back in there with them and just tell them that, because I want them to know that I like them.
Yeah.
And that was like inspired by you. But also I wanted to model for them that like I'm a teacher, but like I do want to be here. Like I'm happy to be back.
Bingo.
And I talked to them because I was talking about this with my family last night, that like I wonder like how those days hit when you get so many in a row. Like, I think as a teacher and probably as a kid, one e-learning day is like eating junk food only. And that's like cool for a day. You're like, yeah, this is good. But when you have like 3 in a row and like all you've had for 3 days is Doritos and Monsters, that stinks.
Yeah.
So I was like talking to the kids, like, what's the vibe of that? And they were like, no, I need to get out of the house. I wanted to delay today so I could sleep in, but I did want to come to school. And I was like, I'll take
That's
that.
good.
That's good. So we did talk about that, and like we did have some time to talk, because that, especially the after lunch jazz band, does enjoy sharing those kind of moments. But I've seen Steve teach many, many times. Steve does not really leave time out of lessons. And granted, this is
Wait,
probably
what's that mean? I don't leave.
like
time
you
on
don't.
the
You're like, oh,
lessons.
we finished 5 minutes early. Go ahead, and pack it up, kids. Like you don't do that.
Oh.
I think that's probably like easier as a ensemble teacher than like a core class teacher. Like if you have a lesson plan scripted for like a biology class, let's say, like it might be hard to hit that 50-minute mark just right.
Right.
But I would also say that if you kind of know what you're doing, I would imagine you'd plan some sort of activity that will bleed out through the rest of class, and when it finishes, it finishes. Independent work or
Right.
some sort of, you know what I mean. So where I'm going with this is, if you have a delay day, our classes are 30 minutes instead of 50, and if the attitude is, well, you can't get anything done in 30 minutes, you have a 20-minute block followed by a 30-minute block every normal class period that's 50 minutes.
Right.
Of course you can. And on our half-day days at the high school, you have 17 minutes. And then you might say, well, if you include pack-up, tear-down time, that's like closer to maybe like 13 minutes. Like, okay. But we can do things in 13 minutes. Like, if there was 2 minutes to do a class, we'd do something for 2 minutes. It doesn't matter the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be, like, I'm like 100% with you. Like, it doesn't matter the amount of minutes or seconds that you have. If it's greater than 4 minutes to pack up and tear down, we're going to do something.
Yeah.
This episode of Chops is sponsored by Sight Reading Factory. Sight Reading Factory is a digital tool that generates virtually infinite music on the spot for any ensemble. Every exercise is customizable, making it great to focus on specific rhythms or intervals. And now, you can even align the exercises to match your state and organizational standards. Sight Reading Factory is built for the classroom with 2 great features: auto assessment and live practice. Auto assessments grade student recordings automatically so you don't have to, and they sync directly to your gradebook. By selecting one of 3 levels of leniency for your group, you can be sure SRF will grade recordings appropriately. Live practice allows you to generate music for your ensemble on the spot. Correctly transposed parts will be sent to students' devices while you read the score. No more wasting time distributing, collecting, and hunting down original parts from your library on Sight Reading Day. Visit sightreadingfactory.com today to begin your subscription for as low as $3 per student.
I think that's huge, and I've been thinking about the kind of going through your high school experience, and what is the common battle cry with high school students about math? What would a high school student say about math? Like, why do I have to do this?
Oh, I see.
Right? Like, why do I need?
I'm never going to use this in my life.
I'm never going to use this in my life. Okay. And when I was a band director, I used to come back at that statement hard, because I'd be like, I would say, wait a second. You play clarinet. And probably when you graduate from high school in 4 years, you're probably not going to play again. You're probably not going to do it for a living. If you do, maybe you'll play at church. Maybe you'll play in a community band. But you're not. Playing clarinet is not a life skill. Playing clarinet is not a core 40. So there better be something in it that I'm teaching that is worthy of you coming into my class for an hour every day. So you must be getting something more than learning how to play the clarinet. I mean, I use that all the time, because kids all the time go, well, I don't need this math class. I don't need this physics class. And I was like, you don't need jazz band. Careful what you say. Be careful, because you don't need any of this. But we're trying to make a connection. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Because on the flip side, they're like, well, we need to learn real stuff, like how to pay our taxes. I'm like, newsflash, they have websites that do it for you for free.
Right.
Half an hour on YouTube, you're fine. We don't need a full credit class for this. That teaches you nothing.
And you don't need to balance a checkbook, because nobody uses a checkbook.
And you don't even need to pay taxes. Well, no, you probably do.
You should pay taxes.
You should pay taxes. But that's I'm 100% with you, because kids kids get into that mind, and maybe
What's in it for me?
well, why?
Or why do I need to suffer through this?
Yes, and like I only need to study things that are handpicked for me in my future.
Yes.
Now, in the kids' defense, high schools everywhere are tracking kids very early to get them into a career path.
Yes.
And that's been a big shift in education, specifically secondary education, probably in the United States. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I do think it plays into them wanting to take things that further their career. Because 20 years ago, your semester looked like history, science, math, English, elective, health. Like every semester.
It was not tailored specifically.
And now it is, which is fine. But I wonder if kids think, well, I don't need to take that class because I'm not going to use that again. Why am I doing that? But as you said, it's like there's value in everything that you learn, because one,
how we do anything is how we do everything.
Stephen Roos, shout out
Stephen
you,
Roos,
buddy.
hey, buddy.
Right. But also, like, learning math is like learning how to learn. And you're just applying skills. Learning an instrument is learning how to learn and applying skills. I mean, all that, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's just, are we doing a squared plus b squared, or are we doing do, re, mi?
Well said. Well said. And, oh, gosh.
We're all worked up now. This is supposed
I know,
to be a
this is-
lighthearted episode talking about
It was?
e-learning.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about e-learning. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things in my mind. Okay, but I do, what you said is like we're learning how to learn. So when you're learning math, the end product is important, but the steps that you got there are more important. And when you failed, how you came back at it is the most important. That you kept on showing up and trying something that was ambiguous, and that because you kept trying it, it finally made it hooked up a little bit in your brain to like reality. Like, oh, this is how I'm doing this. I get this. That you wore that path down in your brain to get through it. And not that you have to hate it, but the idea that, I mean, you hear people say you can do hard things because our natural tendency is when things get hard, we'll say, I'm good. I'm good.
Shut it down.
Don't need any more of that. And so while I disagree with, math, as far as, I mean, there's a lot of it that we're not going to use.
Did you say you disagree with math?
No, I did say that, so come at me. No, I think we need math.
Math denier.
No, I am not a math denier, but I understand what the students are saying. Like, we don't need this because some of the geometrical stuff and the solving for equations, that's like everyday math that we use.
Sure.
I really firm about that. But also you're teaching your brain how to work a system to find a product and to remember the system and come back to it and use the system again and again and look for patterns and look for commonalities and look for subtle differences. And that, so you could come into a class and be a sleeper and be like, I'm not going to graduate. So that's fine. I'm not going to graduate. I don't think that's true because you're sacrificing like having an experience of getting roughed up academically and kind of grinding through it.
And this is safe mode. This is like the tutorial mode is like failing in school. And I don't mean getting Fs, but like if you have an experience at school where you are trying something, doing it wrong, and getting help, now is the time. You can't do that later in life for free.
No.
There are consequences financially or whatever. I mean, now is the time to do that stuff. Gosh, we sound like we're on like an advocacy board.
That's true though, but if we teach music does stand alone just like French stands alone, and
It's all got inherent value.
Right? It's learning about the world and learning the way things work. A system works. It's learning another language, if you will. But you're with that, your teachers are teaching you how to learn, how to work a system, how to complete a system, how to power up, how to level up, and then mixing all of that, you're doing soft skills too, which it doesn't matter what you teach, algebra, geometry, chemistry, you should be teaching those soft skills or leadership skills or responsibility skills along in your class. How? That's your job. Figure out how. But, we've become responsible citizens by becoming teachers, and then it's your job to also share that with them through life experiences or, preemptive questions or just reasoning and, helping them to think outside the box. But yeah, you got to be careful of saying, why do I need this? Because I don't know if we really, quote, need music. I don't know if that's a hot take.
Music's not a life skill.
Music's not a life skill. It's a very important subject that we can learn so much from and express ourselves so much from. Not necessarily, but we can if done right. And that's what I think. Don't undersell your content, and don't undersell, I don't want, there's not enough time to do this today. Don't undersell your program or yourself as a teacher, because as soon as you give that up, you're going to be the teacher on Friday afternoon showing the Office reruns for your, homeroom class when you're supposed to be doing some kind of character lesson. And you're going to fall into that trap, and it's going to be a slippery slope, and you're going to be a below average teacher. I sound like I'm scolding people, but just like I know how it works, and I know how we can kind of write things off, but don't write things off. Work up to the line, start on time, finish on time, and do what Jack does on the 17-minute school day. He has a class for 17 minutes. He takes advantage of all 17 minutes. He has a plan.
Okay, I want to do something really dangerous.
Okay.
I want to ask you what your favorite part about teaching is. Okay, but we're going to answer it at the same time. On 3. You got your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Kids.
Okay. So this is this is what I wanted to say, is that that's when you're in front of them, that's the best part of the day. And if you're listening to this and it's no, it's not. It's when I'm in my office. Hot take, crazy hot take. But as Steve's saying, those are the moments you're with the kids, is when you're using those times, or you're building life skills, or you're teaching a character, whatever. That's the time. That's the fun part.
That is the fun part.
Why wouldn't you? Right? Am I crazy?
No, it is the fun part.
Well, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I didn't get any sleep last night. But that's the fun part.
Right.
You're still gonna eat your ice cream, even if you don't want to eat the broccoli. This is the ice cream. Come on.
This is true. This is true. That is, there's a lot of content that I find enjoyable. Certainly in music, there have been there's some things that I'm let me at it. I'll go. Give me a week on that stuff. Let's go. But the fun part is trying to see if you can make a connection from your understanding to their understanding, and using your life experience with their life experience, and somehow kind of reach a connection to help them go, oh, that's where the fun is. And you don't always know how you're going to get there. We talk about that all the time. Don't know how we're getting there. We know where we want to go. Not sure how that connection is going to work. I'm not sure how it's going to work for a 15-year-old girl that reads on a 3rd grade level. I'm not sure how that's going to work working with a senior boy who's going to go to, Juilliard School of Music as a trumpet performance. There's all breadth, there's such a wide scale of how to reach out to kids. And it's a moving target. It's always moving. It's always changing. And once you think you figured it out, you come in the next day, the rules have changed. Right?
And 8 kids are gone testing. There's 3 drills you have
The
to do.
rules change every
and
day.
you're just like, okay,
And guess what?
let's go.
I learned this from Jack. Jack says the word developmentally appropriate. It's developmentally appropriate for teenagers to be moody. Okay? That happens. And thank God for the times that you have the kid that's 99.9% cheery. You're just like, you're an anomaly and you're amazing. Thank you.
Sit up front, please. Thank you.
Right. And there's going to be kids that are always grumpy. And there's going to be kids that are on both sides of that and that they don't even know why they're going from one side to the other. But and it can be extremely frustrating, but that's the gig. That is the gig. So it's trying to find like your excellence in your content, in your mastery of that, and then somehow bridging the gap with this moving target. Like you're trying to build a bridge with something that's going down the rapids. It's like seems impossible.
Yeah.
But you got to stay. I don't know. You stay with it and you have fun and you get frustrated. You go home and cry. And then you come back and drink more caffeine and try it again.
Well said. Well said.
Okay.
I wish we could do like a live cam of you talking to a grumpy kid and putting it on Instagram Live or something. Just because it's pretty like you've developed your bag of tools, and I'm sure that maybe a skeptical teacher listening right now is like, well, I just can't connect with these kids. Like they just don't get me, and I don't get them, and I'm so frustrated, and I can't figure this out. And like, you should watch Steve. I know that you can't, and that's like such a lame response, but you've developed so many tools, like talking to grumpy kids, that you can almost always crack a laugh out of them. Almost always. And that,
I'm glad you think that.
That skill, one, like I've tried to learn those tricks from you, and I can think of it. Like I had a conversation with a student today who, this was a student that like, it was not like a tough conversation, but she just came up and she basically just like apologized and was like, I'm sorry if I've been acting differently.
Oh.
So like totally self-aware,
Wow.
like total win for this kid. Great. And I was like authentically like, thank you. And then I tried to do some like non sequitur remark just to kind of like get a laugh out of it. And there were like a giggle or two. So I'm like, okay, we're back. We're building the bridge out of the toothpicks and duct tape, and it's moving down the river.
Yeah.
It's fine. So but it like made
That's
me think
wonderful.
made me think of you and other, mentor teachers I've had, like Scott Spradling and
Sure.
Brian Golden, that I've seen do that with kids all the time. And I have this image of teachers doing that. And if you're not a teacher that like, if that's not your jam, I mean, everyone has their own skill set, but I would encourage you to find some of those.
Oh, Scott
lighthearted
Spradling
tools.
was relentless with that stuff of just staying after kids to kind of get behind enemy lines.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
he was masterful at that.
Yes.
And he used whatever way to get there. A lot of humor, some sarcasm, some inside jokes, some prop, right?
Yep,
and
every time.
It got him going. And it usually broke him down.
Yes. Oh,
In
and
a very-
especially when he was in the junior high.
Junior
director,
high,
like
yeah.
That age level kid was.
Yeah,
very
he is
susceptible to that.
excellent at that. But I will tell you, thank you for the compliment. I also sat in class today at Aspire and said, I don't know what to do. Wow. Like, I'm struggling making a connection.
Yeah.
And I made myself stay in a position to make it like more uncomfortable for myself.
Right. But that's the win.
Okay.
Teachers listening, like that's the win. Like he's saying, I'm unsure, but I'm jumping in the deep end anyway. And I don't think Steve often allows himself to stay in the shallow end. I know he doesn't because I've seen him.
No, and it's also going back to like, well, what do you want? Like obviously I have my faults as a teacher. There's been times I've dipped out mentally or emotionally. Not that often, but like staying with it, going back to kind of like what's the purpose of these classes that we're taking, there is something in me that feels not guilty, but like responsible for doing something.
Yeah. Yes.
Something.
I mean, if you zoom out and think, okay, there are like 150 kids I see every day. That's like at least 150 adults in their lives that are saying, "Yep, you got them for an hour." Like they're like trusting me with that. Like I better do something.
Right.
Better get something out of this. I mean, that's crazy, but that's our job. So we can't mess up, man. We can't mess up. Gotta be locked in
You're being watched all the time.
all the time.
You know, and people don't even know they're watching you. They don't even know. But you can learn by osmosis. So don't let the kids down. Don't let the kids down. Don't let them quote win. It's not a win-lose thing, but you know,
Well, you lose.
you lose, but you're
Everyone
going to lose at times, but just keeping after it and try something, even with the kids that are the hardest to reach. Something. You be the judge of like what's creative and how to get in there. I don't have a lot of time. I only teach that. Make it happen. Make it happen, okay? Maybe you don't get module 1.3 done today, but you talk to a kid that never talks. Okay? Talk about big rocks, baby.
Well said.
Okay.
Well said.
Okay, here school system I taught at before. This I don't know why this came up to my mind.
Back
but
to Kentucky.
maybe.
No, sorry.
Thanks, Jack. Let's just
You
say
talked about that school so many times, and now after 112 episodes, you're going to throw the anonymous card? You've talked about Everett's like every other episode. They don't even exist anymore. Why can't we name drop? It's been 30 years.
because I can't let it go. Okay, at one point, you said it, not me. At one point, there was discussion about eliminating or making the fine arts department smaller. It was kind of hard to make it smaller because I was like the only one. You know? But
That's how you became Mr. P.
that is true. That is true. But I remember there was like discussion, like maybe we need to do away with certain electives. And there was just a lot of brainstorming going on. Okay. And one of the things that was brought up, and so I was a first year teacher, and I was like, this is like stinking Mr. Holland's opus. Like, I am on the horse of truth and justice. Watch out. I'm going to go nutty here. Okay. Because it felt like it was like a music ed project. Right?
But it was like real.
But it was real.
That's
and
true. You've had those like made up ones, like your program. Like this is your
Yes.
like, what would you do to
What would you
advocate for
do
your
for the
program that's
marching
getting
acorn?
cut? You're like,
The
wait, the call is coming from inside the
Right.
house.
So this really happened. And like, you know, how do we need to think about our school and what we're offering and what we're giving? And I remember one of the programs that they wanted to keep in, I'm going to get myself in trouble, but was JROTC.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Young training, military mind, leadership training, skills-based training, and maybe I'll look towards the future with armed services. Not necessarily, but it was
Sure.
like
track,
it was
yeah.
a worthwhile program.
Sure.
And it helped the kids with certain soft skills, and it did have some physical fitness to it. Okay. But it was said we need to have JROTC continue because it's teaching discipline and organization and structure and compassion, you know, all these soft skills. That was said at a staff meeting. And 25-year-old Mr. Peterson raised his hand. And I was a first-year teacher in the middle of this crew, and I said, no disrespect to JROTC, but shouldn't we be doing that in every class that we teach? And I remember there was kind of like a, yeah, but I remember feeling like kind of furious about that. Like, these are the classes where we're going to teach you respect and discipline and organization. We have a class for that. I have a class for that. It's the class I'm teaching right now. What's it called? I don't care. I don't care what it's called. It's the same thing, right? And I was salty about that. But can you say that about your class? You know, are you teaching? I know soft skills are becoming a hot button topic now, and Indiana is wanting us to track soft skills and make sure that we're teaching that. But hasn't that always been the case? Is this like a revelation? No, it's not. It's like probably the more fun side of teaching that we've gotten into, right?
Yep. I would think so. I don't know if I've ever, I guess maybe this could be a difference of when you were starting teaching versus when I was starting teaching, but I don't know if anyone's ever been like, make sure that you're teaching discipline and respect and cooperation. I'm like, I don't think my classes would function if we weren't teaching those things. How can you get a 220 size piece marching band to function without those things? Right? You can't.
It's impossible.
I mean, I do think there's some like Darwinism to music programs because if they don't have those things in place, they will fold.
Yeah.
Because they need those things to function and thrive. And they're so evident when you have groups that are very, very large, that meet very, very often, and that are at a high level of success.
That are at a high level of excellence. So those, so like a football team that has a good system teaches discipline, structure, punctuality, honor, pride, commitment, compassion, passion. They teach those things. Wrestling team, swimming team, student council, marching band, jazz band. I only teach English. That's it.
That's it.
That's your vehicle. I teach industrial arts. That's your vehicle. That's where you teach it. You don't need a separate class.
I would argue that having a separate class for that would be worse because then there's no vehicle.
You're just doing it for the sake of. At least in your class, you have a way of moving through time and space with a community to do like goals. Now, marching band is, I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not easy, but it's a wonderful vehicle. Just what you said. But I guess your job as a teacher is you take your vehicle and you make that the next best thing. You make it happen. Amen?
Amen, brother.
You don't need a class for that.
Amen. Just watch Ted Lasso.
You
I'm saying just watch Ted Lasso if you don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Watch him.
He's not
not school appropriate all the time.
No.
A lot of heavy language. However, some very, very motivational moments. Inspirational.
Yeah. I would love to hear some things about what people do when they think about like the way they intentionally teach some of those skills in their music classes. Like, what does that look like? How does punctuality work in your class? How does commitment work in your class? How does consequences work in your class, right? How does excellence, compassion, passion, like teamwork, how does that work out in your class?
And we actually do want to know. Like, hit us up. We keep saying like, yeah, come reach out. We actually did get an email today. Shout out Arizona.
Boop.
But seriously, send us some DM or something on one of the socials. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from the listeners.
Right.
That'd be awesome. What do we call this episode now? I don't even know. Mr. Holland's Opus.
Mr.
Number
Holland's
2.
Opus.
I don't know. Mr. P's Opus. Mr. Popus.
Just keeps on getting worse.
Well, if you like what you hear, please subscribe, follow. Make sure you're rating and reviewing the show on Apple. Seriously, rate and review the show on Apple. We have many more followers than we do have ratings, so let's get those numbers to be the same.
All right. So we hope you have a warm week. If you live in Arizona, you're fine. Midwest, hang on. Here we go again. All right.
Oh, dude, Solo and Ensemble sent out a message like, hey, if it does get canceled, it's going to be removed at this time. I'm like, no, do not. I think we're going to be okay on Saturday, though. Saturday is Solo and Ensemble.
Redoing Solo and Ensemble.
We can't keep doing trumpet choir rehearsals.
Oh.
It ain't there. No.
That's so many moving parts.
We got to play. We just got to play. We just got to do the thing.
Gotta go.
That's
It'll
it.
be fine.
We'll be fine.
We'll have school tomorrow and we'll be fine.
Truth.
Okay, so for Steve Peterson,
Jack Hinkle.
we're out of here.
See ya.